Hello there, dear YouTubers. My name is King1993, and today is another day of me trying to explain which type of memory sets to give which type of construct. Now, do remember that this is a beginner's guide only, and most of the things which I'll be saying will basically benefit the people who has been started to play this game for a matter of few weeks or even a few 1 or 2 months. Okay, so the question remains is okay, which type of memory sets to be given to which type of construct. Now I'll be giving you two types of option. Option number one is going to be my point of view, and option number two is going to be another YouTuber goes by the name Mr. Rexland, who has provided separate information on how to give which type of resonance to which type of character. Okay, so in this first part, my part, I'll not be talking about the resonance. I'll be talking about which type of memory sets in general you will be needing, and in the second part, which is the Mr. Rexland, in the spreadsheet it will be basically provide which type of resonance to give. Okay, now let's start with my part. Okay, now I have two types, two or three, or okay, let me give you an example. So there are total 1, 2 and 3. So there are three types of memory sets that you will be needing: a DPS type, a tank type, and a support type. Now obviously when it comes to a DPS type is going to be differing from one character to another, whereas the tank and support type are going to be the same, even though the overall damage category is going to be different. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, let's say when it comes to this one, as you can see here, I have given this one this set, and when it comes to this one, I have given this set to Alpha Lucia. When it comes to this one, I have given another different set to Karina Amber. And when it comes to this one, okay, again another set. So as you can see here, I have given different types of sets to different type of construct. Now, what are the only difference? Well, this is the only difference one, because according to Mr. Rexland, this one is the recommended one, which will be able to make Lucia Plume to use her ultimate a lot faster, okay, or ultimate signature move a lot faster. Whereas this one is basically a normal set which is going to be available at the beginning part of the game, and I have given this Darwin and Patton set. So Patton is basically good for short range and even long range physical damage dealing, whereas this one is a Darwin is going to be a additional booster. Okay, so from that point of perspective, for having 4 sets of this Patton and 2 sets of Darwin is going to be good enough. Okay, now as I go downward, for example this one, so if I were to have Bianca Veritas and even this one, they would have the same sets. Okay, for example, I would give the exact same set as which one is this? Is called Hysen and okay, not Frederick, Hysen and Darwin set to Bianca Veritas, because what will happen is then Bianca Veritas will be able to do damage, lightning damage to enemies that are basically in a long distance or even in a short distance. Okay, so yeah, that's basically how it goes. And let's see, when it comes to this fire one, this fire one is basically like able to provide fire damage. Okay, this is a fire set. This one is Shakespeare is a fire set. Okay, whereas this Darwin is basically a damage multiplier. So from that point of perspective, I have given this one 4 pieces of Shakespeare and 2 pieces of Darwin. Okay, now as I go downward to the last one, that is, I have given this one Flamel. Okay, now the question is, why have I give this one Flamel? Well, I gave this one to Flamel. Sorry, I gave Luna Laurel Flamel. That is because the 4 pieces set, what happens is this annihilation, I do not know how to pronounce it properly. So this 4 pieces set can only be triggered by Luna Laurel, which is why I have given this one. Had this problem not stayed in that manner, then I would have definitely given this Bathlon to Luna Laurel, but as you can see here, Luna Laurel will be able to do 30% more damage whereas the 4 pieces of Bathlon will only be doing a 20% of damage dealing. So yeah, that's basically how it goes. Okay, now the question remains is, okay, so what about this additional damage I'm seeing here? Well, it depends from character to character. What do I mean by that? If you were to give the same Bathlon set to Luna Laurel, obviously Luna Laurel is not going to be able to take full advantage of that. So that is another important thing that you have to understand, that it is going to be a little bit different. Okay, now this is going to be the attacker type. Now let's talk about the tank type. Now in the tank type, there are basically two types of tank. One is going to be elemental tank and physical tank. So I have made two types. Okay, this is the physical tank. Okay, now you can give this physical tank to any other physical tank. For example, this one belongs to Kamui Bastion. Okay, but you can basically give this Kamui Bastion set to this Rosetta Rigor set. Okay, so the question is how or why? Because both of them are physical damage dealing, and they will be also be providing support for the main DPS character. So from that point of perspective, if you were to give this Kamui Bastion set, okay, to any of the other physical damage dealing one, okay, let's say even this A2 or any physical type, or let's say Isle of Brilliance, or let's say Nanami Storm, they are going to be having the same effect. But when it comes to the set, okay, let me check. Arclight. So I basically named this one the Arclight set. Okay, here it is. So for elemental tank, this is the set which I have used on other constructs as well, other tank type constructs as well. So the question remains is why? Because the thing is, when it comes to elemental tank, this set is gonna be providing or doing the same type of support for any of the other elemental damage dealers. So let's say I gave Arclight to Shangyu. Will it work? It will work. Or let's say I give that same set to this Nanami Pulse. Will it work? Yes. Or let's say to Kamui Tenebron. Will it work? Yes, it will work. So that's basically how this one set is going to be able to provide the same benefit to other elemental type. But will it work on Kamui Bastion? No, because this is the physical one. Okay, only the physical one is going to be different, and the rest of the other elemental type are going to be having the same effect. Now what about the support? Okay, now for the support, just like tank, the support is going to be the same, except only physical damage dealing, physical support and elemental support. Okay, for example, this is the set which I have given Leaf Luminance. Okay, it has 4 pieces of Da Vinci and 2 pieces of Philip. So I have given this set to any of the physical damage dealing one. So for example, this one is also a physical damage dealing one. I would give this exact same to this one, and even to this one as well. Okay, but I would not give that same set to any of the elemental one. When it comes to the elemental one, Vera Rosen has, I've given this one 4 pieces of Da Vinci and 2 pieces of Guinevere. Okay, now I have given this set to this one as well. I have given that same exact set to this lightning one as well. I have given that same set, yeah, to between this 1, 2, 3 and 4. So I was exchanging that exact same set in between these 4 characters. Okay, why? Because it is going to be doing the same elemental healing and support both at the same time. So this is going to be the maximum one that you are going to be needing. Okay, now in case if you are confused, okay, let me show you which memory sets I have I would recommend. So when it comes to the DPS one, there is a better option than mine, which I'll be talking later. But if you are going for a shortcut one, then for a shortcut one, this Luminance set is going to be good. Okay, now Luminance set is going to be good in terms of physical healing and support, and Vera Rosen is going to be good for elemental healing and elemental support. Okay, and when it comes to this Arclight is going to be good for elemental tank and elemental support, whereas this Bastion set given here is gonna be good on physical uh, support and physical shield breaking. Okay, so yeah, this type are basically like that. Okay, this one is for elemental shield break, and this one is for this one is for elemental, this one is for physical. Yeah, that's basically how it goes. So sorry if my continuation of the topic is getting extremely lengthy because of how much gap I'm taking in between my talking. Sorry about that. Now, as I said, this is my part. Now, what's the second part? The second part is going to be coming from Rexland. So let me give you an example. So if you go to Mr. Rexland's channel, okay, here is Mr. Rexland's channel, and you try to play any of the Punishing Grey Raven video, and then pause them. Okay, now as I go down, you'll see this spreadsheet here. Okay, so if you click on this spreadsheet, you will be directly be taken to this place here. Now this place will be showing you which type of resonance you should be giving them and which type of alternative sets there are. Okay, for example, normally people prefer using 4 pieces of pattern and 2 pieces of Darwin, but if you want to get some extra benefit out of Alpha Lucia, that is, then obviously it is recommended by many well people. Well people are basically people who spends large amount of money in this type of topic to use Frederick and 2 pieces of Darwin. So that's basically how it goes, and these are basically all of the DPS type. Okay, now as you go downwards, you'll see that this is another alternative. Okay, now even though I have said that the Kamui Bastion set is going to be working on this one as well, doesn't mean that most of the time it is going to be the only type. According to Mr. Rexland, this is another very good option. So the question is, okay, should you be giving this Rosetta Rigor this set, or should you give mine? Well, that overall depends on your, because the thing is, because the amount of resources that I have is extremely limited, because I do not use any real world money to actually play this. The amount of resources I can get are very low, and because of that reason I have to compromise. And because I compromise on this game so much that to the certain point the amount of memory sets that I have made are extremely limited. So I actually wanted to make sure that I have given all the constructs their own memory sets and then eventually max them out. But eventually, as you can see here, the memory set limit is given to 2020, and I have maxed out this entire set slot. Okay, and because of that reason I cannot make additional one. So this is another problem which you will be facing. So if you were to go take my road, then what will happen is you will have more than enough slots covered up, okay, to play the game as efficiently as possible. But if you are planning on getting each of the memory sets to their own recommended construct, then obviously this limit, okay, where is the limit? This limit is gonna cause a problem. So yeah, that is another important thing that you must need to understand, that it is gonna be differing from person to person. But when it comes to overall the resonance, if you are thinking about doing the resonance but using the memory sets that I am using, then I suggest that you use the memory sets which I am using and the way I'm using them. But when it comes to this resonance, I highly suggest that you follow Mr. Rexland's video, and then you will be able to understand which type of resonance you should be giving these constructs, or let's say these are called, what are these called, transcendence, to make sure that you get as maximum damage as possible. Okay, so that's basically how it goes. Now Mr. Rexland upgrade this chart on a regular basis, so you'll be getting the latest amount of information from this place here. Okay, like my channel is a variety channel, but Mr. Rexland purely depends on Punishing Grey Raven related stuff. Okay, so if you find this video interesting or let's say useful, on which type of construct should be given which type of memory sets, then please give a like and subscribe and click the bell notification icons to get more of this type of topic on a regular basis. Thank you and see you again next time.